Hi, everybody. The video you're about to watch is the recording of our Indie Inquiries show that Shark and I do every week. Unfortunately, for this week's show, my YouTube studio didn't start up in time and it didn't actually record things from my side. So, what you're seeing is Shark's recording, and unfortunately, you'll be seeing me say and do a lot of stuff that unfortunately you can't see because you're only looking at Shark's angle for it. But let me know what you think about how we changed the format in terms of what we're looking at. And for next week's show, which will be aired around 3:30 ET on Thursday, ideally I'll have things sorted out and you'll have my viewpoint for the versions on this channel. And be sure to check out Shark's channel in the description down below if you want to watch things from his side, and subscribe to his channel for Game Dev Talks. But with that said, here's the recording. All right, everybody, welcome to episode 3 of our next weekly segment, Indie Inquiries, where each week we take a look at some of the upcoming indie games and examine the marketing and presentation of these games and provide advice for indie developers. Joining me, as always, is my co-host from Nexus Games, Shark.
Hello, everybody. Glad to be
Hey,
here, as
yeah,
usual.
we are here right on the final day of 2020, which means that we won't be finding too many games coming out in the 2020 season this week.
Oh, there'll be lots and lots of games coming out right here at Christmas, right? Because, I mean, they're
Which
just
is
all AAA, just not indie.
mm-hmm. So for this week, we're mixing things up. I decided to show off the Steam pages for these games as opposed to the key mailers, because this way this will allow us, I think, a little bit better look at what the consumer is going to see. And
Hmm.
unfortunately, with it being the end of the year, not too many games were released, or at least not too many that would at least be somewhat interesting to discuss. So we have, I think, 8 picks from me this week, but that should be good. It should get us a decent number, and hopefully this won't be a 4-hour video. We'll see what happens.
And we'll probably go more in depth in each of these 8. And
Mm-hmm.
hopefully, like you said, it won't be a 4 hour long video.
Mm-hmm. Like I said, we are doing this on New Year's Eve, so who knows if we have people showing up. Hopefully we will, but you never know. So, I think with that, let us begin, and let me pull up the first game on the list.
Can we get a test in your chat to make sure it works?
Oh, sure. Uh, there we go.
Yep, got it.
We'll see that stays for the next hour or so. So, the first game that I chose is Orange Santa. So, I guess first off,
Aren't
let's
you
take a look
glad?
at the. Mhm. What do you make of the thumbnail?
The thumbnail. You talking about this over here above the orange sign as a 2D themed
Mm-hmm.
platform? I mean,
Yep.
that's a really low question, but what do I think?
Mm-hmm.
I think
It's
it's a orange.
clean looking, but it looks kind of nightmarish to me.
I think the whole game kind of looks that way, though.
Mm-hmm.
So I bet that's a fairly accurate representation of the game.
Mm-hmm. This is a 2D Christmas theme platform action game. So it's not a platformer, it's platform action.
Yeah, they need to add some plates in there and lose the action.
30 levels to play, various kinds of enemies, 2 different fire modes. It's story driven. I see
Where are you
lots of
seeing that?
story here. What?
Where are you seeing that stuff at?
You,
The third
you have
level?
to scroll down.
Where?
All on the store page.
Yeah.
Let's
Okay, I
see.
see it now. You have to expand it. Because I was like, I went all the way down to the bottom and I didn't see it.
So one of the nice things about having this with on the Steam page is we actually see all the gifts in action here.
It's a gift to humanity.
So one of the reasons I chose this game is that it says that they are a solo indie game developer. So they did everything except for the music. Oh, I got family
That's not
sneezing.
solo. That's like
Mostly
saying
solo.
that's like saying Yeah, I made this thing all by myself, except for the parts where I had somebody else do stuff for me.
Mm-hmm.
It's not very by yourself.
So let's take a look at the actual promotion here. So from looking at the animation, it
You
looks.
you talking about the
Should we?
GIFs?
I'm actually playing the trailer right now.
Oh, okay.
We'll say that they're using the marketing page or their marketing points in the video. One thing that stands out to me as I'm watching this footage, the jumping seems like it's going to be very like fixed. Like I'm not sure if you can actually jump at different heights.
Yeah. Another thing is that trailer is way too long.
Let's see, it is at minute 51.
Should be like 30 seconds. You can
Mm-hmm.
have more than one trailer and have a second trailer that's longer, but you want your initial trailer to be like 30 seconds. I'm shooting for
Mm-hmm.
29 with mine. And
Yeah.
why 29? Do you know why 29?
Why?
Because when it comes to putting ads out on YouTube, the way they charge, at least at the moment, that's
Mm-hmm.
subject to change based on when you hear this, when you watch this video. But last when I just checked, basically the way they charge is by click through rate, as long as you're below 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're 29 seconds, you won't be charged unless somebody clicks on it. Where if it's 30 seconds or longer, you'll be charged every time somebody watches it. So being below 30 seconds is very important. Yeah.
So as we're watching this, one thing that stood out to me, besides the fact that he seems to be only jumping at one height, every time someone gets shot, you notice they flicker. And something about that flickering doesn't look right to me.
I did not notice that, but I wouldn't pay that close of attention.
Yeah, and as you
Yeah,
said,
I see it.
this is way too long. Like, I don't think you need the kind of text interludes in this trailer.
Yeah. That's
Like,
what I
each
did
one's
with
like,
one of my first trailers, and it was not good.
eh. Like each one is an additional like 2-3 seconds that you can cut out. I mean, that right there will probably save like 15 seconds on this trailer.
Yeah. If anything, if you really needed that text layout, you'd probably want to overlay that on top of the video.
Mm-hmm.
And you'd of course need a font that would be able to visually see it over your game.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you did some kind of polish thing where it wasn't just a black screen kind of thing.
Yeah. So while Steam is running like the little slideshow of these cutscenes or these screenshots, from a UI standpoint, I do like how none of the kind of like UI paint or UI information is stock, or at least it doesn't look stock to me.
Yeah, it's pretty good UI. I mean, well, I wouldn't say good. It's serviceable in a good way.
Yeah.
You know, it's
Now,
not great, but it's one of those is better is good enough to potentially succeed UI wise.
hmm now there are a few complaints about this.
Just
For
a
one
few.
thing, I don't think you need a kill counter. Again, when it comes to good UI, less is more. You want as few elements on the screen as you can, because that's less things for the player to kind of have to focus their attention on.
You
So you
could
could
have a
probably,
kill counter, you just wouldn't want it permanent up there. You'd want it
yeah.
to fade away.
And this, I think, is just on there for the end, as long as you're playing it.
Yeah. You'd want to, like when you get the combo things where you're like, 8, 9, 10, 11,
Mm-hmm.
30, 80, and then it fades away until you start your
Mm-hmm.
next one. That's probably what you would want to do if you wanted to do that kind of thing with a kill counter.
Another annoyance for me is the ammo and I guess that's rocket display in the bottom here. I don't know why it's set up in this kind of arrangement. I think it would have been easier to just have them side by side and have them kind of set the same length or the same height as the health bar on the bottom left.
They're probably trying to be fancy,
Yeah,
make it look better. Go for style points.
yeah. But it is a little distracting, at least for me.
Yeah, you gotta be careful where you go for style at.
Mm-hmm.
As I say, realizing that I went heavy on the style, on the font and everything. But
So overall, I'll play the trailer while I'm talking about this. Don't want Steam. There you go. Overall, it doesn't look horrible, but I don't think it presents itself well.
I think honestly, I think the gameplay is going to be very limited because I'm guessing non-limited jumps and then a gun, and that's probably all there is to the gameplay really,
Hmm.
besides obstacles and enemies.
Yeah, I'm
And
trying to
art
see.
wise, I think it's good enough.
Yeah,
I think where
it
it's
looks
going to
clean.
fall apart is the gameplay.
Hmm. And again, for your trailer, you want to keep it as short as you can.
Yeah, because most people are only going to watch the first 5 seconds of your trailer. And
Hmm.
that's insane thinking about it because like I would never watch 5 seconds of a trailer.
Hmm.
It's just like incomprehensible how most people only watch 5 seconds of a trailer. So you really need to hook them in that first 5 seconds, meaning no studio logos in the first 5 seconds.
Hmm.
Because you put your studio logos and this and that and the other in the first 5 seconds and you're screwed.
Hmm.
And I did that exact thing on my first game.
Yeah. So again, probably one of the better examples we've seen from like a first time developer, at least on the show. Ooh, I just actually noticed something that could be potentially annoying. I
That's
don't
it.
know that Buzzsaw is an instant kill or that his health is just low, but he seems to die immediately when he got hit by it. So
Probably
hopefully there
instant
aren't any instant kill moves, other than maybe fall into like a pit here.
and the spikes.
Hmm.
There's lots of spikes there.
Of course there are. It is an action adventure.
I'm guessing the tall blade is instant kill too.
Mm-mm. 30 levels. Well, I didn't see. I guess the two different fire modes would be the primary and your secondary. Eh. So overall, not the worst game we've seen, but again, when we talk about independent games like this, every little thing that we mention is going to be huge for a consumer to look at.
Hmm. But since they got the art pretty decent, you know, this game might actually make its money back.
Now, of course, the one issue, of course, from a timing perspective, is as a Christmas theme game that wasn't released by Christmas.
Hmm. And the other thing is that um, this, based off of the gameplay loop, this is probably going to end up with mixed reviews.
Hmm.
It probably it would probably have like I don't know if I guessed right. I'm guessing this is going to probably hit about 50 reviews. 50 reviews, and it's probably going to be like a 30-40% positive
Mm-mm.
or negative as is. It'll be mixed.
All right. But with that, let us go on to Neon Parkour. I wonder why I chose this game. Are you working on anything with neon in it, Shark?
No, no, I've never even heard of the word neon.
Mm-hmm.
What is a neon?
What's a roguelike?
What's a platformer?
I think this is a neon platformer.
Oh,
So,
there you go. It's an early
right?
access game too.
Yeah, that is a kind of a red flag to me. Because I just posted my big video about what to think about when going to early access. This does not look like an early access game to me.
Are you sure it's a red flag?
Neon red.
Probably more neon purple.
Let's see. What? Okay, and the store page is promoting just getting achievements. That is not what you want to if you want your game to stand out here.
Um, I have a feeling I know who their target audience is.
Game collectors.
Uh-huh.
hmm
Their target audience is game collectors. Why is this an early access game then if this is targeted to game collectors?
Yeah. It's going to take a few weeks. We will do the things we need to do as soon as possible. Just do all the things and your game will be successful.
By the things they need to do, they mean like release a game and profit. Get you, $10.
We have never used early access. I'd say you probably don't want to put that in your marketing page.
Where does that say that?
In the early access description box. We know there are lots of benefits. We will be taking serious the feedbacks coming from you.
Here's the feedbacks.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, who can't take serious the feedbacks
All right. Let's see what this looks like in motion.
in train wreck motion?
Mm-hmm. Well, our character is just a blue rectangle.
Let's
Hmm.
see. You can't underestimate the blue rectangles.
Mm. Oh, good. Character wide platforms. Hmm. So this is looking like let's try and emulate Super Meat Boy. So would you say this game has an aesthetic to it?
If by aesthetic you mean couple blocks, then yes. If by, aesthetic you mean, one that will sell, no.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And again, this doesn't look like a game that is set up to succeed. I'm sorry to say that here.
No, it's set up to the minimum success of advertising to game collectors. So I'm guessing this game is going to be 99 cents and
I
it's
was saying
going to
that.
sell, probably 200 copies. And that'll be enough to get them, $200 gross, which will be enough to get them $100 after, income.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're going to, they're happy with $100 for this game.
Mm-hmm. And I'm sure there's going to be a game that has 500 achievements. Turn the game on, get an achievement. Start the game, get an achievement.
Run the game for 1 second. There's an achievement. Run it for 2 seconds. There's an achievement. Run it for 3 seconds. There's an achievement. By the time you get to 500 seconds, there's 500 achievements.
And again, I'm trying to see if the platforming has different heights for your jumps. And I'm not seeing that. It looks like he's just jumping the same height each time. So even the platforming doesn't look like it's going to be all that special.
Yeah. Well, I'm guessing it's an asset.
Mm-hmm.
I'm guessing the platformer part's an asset. I'm guessing the only thing that isn't an asset is the neon effects, which is just a shader,
Mm-hmm.
and the rectangles. Because I mean that's all that's in here is the platforming, the neon effect, and the rectangle blocks. So the platforming's an asset. The neon blocks, the neon was an effect put in, and the blocks were handcrafted.
Mm-hmm.
So probably the total time. Heck, even the neon effect might be a plugin that
Mm-hmm.
they didn't even program in, and they probably spent, I don't know, 15 minutes making this game, and they're gonna make $100 off of it.
Yeah. I mean, the art is clean, but this does not scream, to the consumer, I'm making a unique game. You should totally buy me.
Question is how many more games has their studio released? Oh, this is the first one.
Mm-hmm.
That's surprising. I expected to see about three or 400. Well, this is the first one of three or 400 to go for
Today.
2021. Pretty sure
That's,
this is just the first of many. The next one will be Neon Haka, with a C,
yeah.
and then Neon Park R's, and then Neon Parks and Recreation R's.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. So join the Discord. So let us know the bugs in the game and make them solve faster. I mean, you just talk to your bugs and it fixes them, right?
Yeah. I mean, it's like, come here, Buck. I have something to say to you.
Mm-hmm.
Get the heck out.
And so this one, I think it's kind of going to be outside of Achievement Collector. It's probably going to be doomed to launch. What do you think?
I think they're actually going to make a profit.
It's a very small one.
Yeah, because I'm betting this is just what asset flippers do, kind of thing. Although
Mm-hmm.
this is more effort than what most asset flippers put into their games.
Yeah. Also, I want to turn everyone's attention to, like, the end of the trailer. This whole, brick wall background. It doesn't fit anything about the game. I don't know why this is like their final scene. And if we go forward here, don't do this, developers. So the footage ends at a minute 11, and then there's 4 seconds of just, blackness. Like, just cut the video. Like, this just shows a very amateur kind of editing.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
I mean, but I mean, people like seeing 4 minutes, 4 seconds of black at the end, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the credit roll.
I just leave like 20 minutes of filler for all my videos, right?
Yeah, I mean, you do sometimes. I'm like, Josh, what are you doing here? Or when you have the half of the episode repeat. That's funny.
Mhm. All right. Let's go to Viking Warrior. And I chose this one very quickly by the fact that it is made in famous Dark Souls style, where everything is dark and difficult. My two favorite words right there.
Mm-hmm. Because that makes everything better, right?
Mm-hmm. Let's see. We were inspired by Dark Souls game and it was created by one man only. I hate to be mean to developers, but the whole making a game as one person is not as illustrious of a title as you may think these days.
Yeah, that's a red flag right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because being made by one man means that the game more than likely sucks in several ways. Because the fact is one man probably does not have a is not very skilled in art, very skilled in programming, very skilled in music, very skilled in game design, very skilled in UI art, very skilled in UX art or UX design rather, not very skilled in marketing, not very skilled in writing, not very skilled in all these different areas because like pretty much nobody is very
Mm-hmm.
talented. Now everybody can be pretty much everybody can be a master of a jack of all trades, master of none kind of thing. That's pretty easy. But to be a master of all, yeah, that's basically impossible. And if you're unless you're a master of all, the one man only is a red flag in telling us do not buy this game.
Mm-hmm. And this trailer has many red flags in it. So about 45 seconds. I'm just watching the whole thing before I comment on it.
Yeah, I gotta start watching mine. There's lots of nothing at the beginning,
Yeah.
except for text. Oh, it's a
So
swords, archery, magic, blah blah blah. And then
so let
it's what 45 seconds before it, or 20 seconds before the trailer actually even starts.
yeah. So first off, it's showing the developer's name in the very first scene. So you really don't need to do that. All these black screens are again just eating up seconds.
Yeah, I think the trailer starts at like the actual trailer starts I think like
19
19
seconds in.
seconds, and then it ends at what about what is it about 33, 34?
Yeah, 34, 35. So really it's what, a 15 seconds of actual footage?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm. So that's not good.
not in a 45-second trailer. It's not. Now, if it was
Mm-hmm.
a 15-second trailer, that would probably be pretty decent.
Mm-hmm. So
Although I
we actually
don't know if you want a trailer that short.
mm-hmm. The action looks decent, but like the rapid cuts, like at like the 28-second mark, is like giving me a small headache. Like you don't want your trailer to hurt the person's eyes.
Mm. And a lot of
So
these stuff looks like this. Oh, and I just noticed they in that night in that few seconds kind of thing. There's repeated footage because if you look at the 19, that's when he comes in and then he's fighting this guy with the circle on the ground, and then he goes archering against a guy, and
mm-hmm.
then when it gets to like
Yeah.
28 seconds, 27, he's fighting the guy in the hallway again with
Mm-hmm.
the circle, and then he's archering right after that.
Mm-hmm.
So there's like, what is that, 3 or 4 or 5 seconds of repeated footage. So that takes us what, 15 seconds down to about 10,
Mm-hmm.
9.
Yeah. And again, there's actual very little combat being shown.
There's really
Like
little
he's
anything being shown. There's only like 9 seconds of stuff being shown.
mm-hmm.
9 seconds exploded out to 45 seconds. That's exactly what you do not want to do.
Mm.
That's not even, that's like trailers 099. That's not even trailers 100. Do
Mm-hmm.
not bloat your trailers. You want the opposite.
Yeah. The art that's there is not bad, but there's just so little. Like it does. Does it look like it's an asset flip, or do you think this is all original assets?
I mean, it doesn't look like your average asset flip, but it could be an asset flip. It's just, if it is, it's way higher quality assets.
Yeah. And the key features, it's going to be very difficult. That's always going to be great. 4 unique environments. Oh, there's an ice and a fire world.
Yeah, it'd have
So here's
been
the point.
nice to show those,
Exactly.
in the trailer.
Because I saw, looks like one, a castle.
Mm-hmm.
Unless outside castle and inside castle are 2 different environments.
It could be.
Now the thumbnail art, it looks clean, but it also looks mismatched to me. With you almost like the comic book or like drawn Viking
Yeah,
overlaid on top of like of a 3D realistic looking castle.
yeah, that's very mismatched.
Hmm.
It does not look good.
So it seems like we're learning all about trailers in this week's episode.
Yep. We had our Simply Stream podcast about trailers at one point.
Hmm. One thing that is standing out to me is that I'm seeing like no UI in any screenshot or trailer, which has me concerned.
I got another thing to be concerned about. You see this check out more games from us? You
Hmm.
see all these games listed for $1.99?
Yeah.
Yeah, let's look how many thousands of games they have. Check out the developer page. Oh yeah, look at all those games.
Ooh,
And the first game was in November 11th, 2020. Oh yeah,
damn.
it's an asset flip. It is absolutely 100% asset flip because
Hmm.
all of these games here are because they have made um here
We've
in
seen a few of these. Yeah, park the car. Remember that one?
yeah, in the time in basically 2 months, no, less than 2 months, because they didn't even go all the way. They didn't start the end of is the beginning of November. It started on the 11th, and they could still get another game or two out before the 11th of January. So less than 2 months, they have scheduled
21.
21 games.
Hmm.
21 games in less than 2 months.
I mean,
Yeah,
come on, Char. You should be able to release, Neon Continuum 2, Neon Continuum 3 in the next month.
heck, I can release all the way to 21.
There you go. Yeah, so definitely for any indie developers watching this, this is just a giant page of what not to do.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Don't be an asset flipper.
Hmm.
You can make $100 here and there, but you're if you do this kind of thing and you ever try to be a serious developer after this, you're screwed
Yeah.
because you'll never be a legitimate developer for the for in your life. You'll have to believe in reincarnation. It'll have to be true. You'll have to go die and be resurrected, and for any chance at succeeding for real in the games industry if you do this kind of thing
Hmm. All right.
because this will permanently mar you.
Hmm. So with that, let's move on to wood salt. So
Well,
I
would you
chose.
salt?
Are you salty?
I mean, I might be.
So the thumbnail for like the little store caption here, it looks okay, but at the same time, it doesn't seem to match the rest of this game.
Yeah, it doesn't match any of it.
Yeah, and that was kind of like my first little red flag.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe this is a visual novel style game. Oh, it's interactive fiction. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's a brand new genre that nobody's ever done before.
hmm Multiple endings. Ooh, there's multiple endings and hidden secret endings. Now, the art of the game doesn't look bad, but it's doing that same thing that kind of irks me. That you have the dialogue box, you have the art of the character in there, and it doesn't match the characters up here at all. Is that a chibi style? Would you say?
Well, it's basically doing what the 3DS does or the
hmm
DS. That's what it's doing because those handhelds do this exact same thing. They'll do 3D little chibi 3D models that are easy to run on on a handheld kind of thing, and then a more high res 2D art. I mean, I don't have any problem with that. I don't want that on my PC, but I don't have a problem with it, kind of thing.
hmm
I don't, I don't, you know, I don't think there's necessarily a problem with it,
All right,
but
so this
there's
one,
definitely a problem with the thumbnail matching the game.
yeah.
It seems completely disconnected. Besides the text, besides the font,
Mm-hmm.
that's the only part that feels connected, and that only feels connected because of the they included it in the trailer
Mm-hmm.
and probably on the title screen, and that's probably the only two places you'll ever see that font. But that font is at least connected in some way. The image behind it, I don't see any connection.
Yeah, so this one they did show their name at the start. It took about 20 seconds before we actually saw any gameplay. Hmm.
I
I
mean,
mean, the trailer has a decent look to it.
the thing is this kind of game would probably be very hard to show actual gameplay.
Other than running around.
Yeah. So like that is understandable, but so because you have to make trailers for, it's hard to make non-action based games. It's hard to make trailers for them because anything turn-based, anything like a walking sim and whatnot, very hard to make a trailer for it.
hmm And this is being released on the Switch as well, which could also be part of the reason for this kind of art style to make it at least a little bit more, quote unquote, kid friendly. But it
Mm-hmm.
doesn't seem like it's going to be a kid friendly game. At least
Yeah.
not by the what is it, fifth screenshot. It looks like the ghost and the guy with his mouth stitched.
No man, kids like that kind of thing, right?
Kids love body horror.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I I think the game presents itself better than the games that we've shown so far.
Yeah. Although the description is just really bare.
hmm
There's no gifs. There's not much here at all.
hmm There's nothing here again that's really showing gameplay other than walking and talking.
No bullet points.
hmm
Again, I think this is going to, fail where the gameplay comes in, or the lack of gameplay comes in, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Although I don't expect, like I figure, a certain audience is going to like this
hmm
kind of thing. So, most people are going to bounce off of it, but the one specific audience, that they're going for, kind of thing, is probably going to really like it.
Yeah. I think this game's going to get some sales, but I think it's going to dry up very quickly once it gets to the initial super hardcore fans.
Yeah, it'll probably make all of it, pretty much all of its sales in the first week.
hmm Yeah, like I'm looking at like kind of like the art of it. again, nothing looks bad to me, but the game is really not, I think, selling itself on what's different. It calls itself an adventure game. I don't see anything about puzzles.
Yeah, I think it's just a I think it's basically a twine game, like visual like uh what you call it Disco Elysium.
Hmm.
I think it's a worse looking Disco Elysium with basically no options, hardly in it at all.
Hmm.
But there is technically options. It's far fewer.
I'm going to say this game is going to be priced at either $15 or $20. If it's anything more than that, I don't see any chance of people buying it.
Yeah. I'm guessing it'll probably be more like $5.
Mm. I mean, it is going to be on the Switch, and usually if a game is on the Switch, they're going to price it a little bit higher.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of Switch games recently that have been like $5 on there.
Mm.
Even some $2, $3 games on there.
If anyone's watching this in the future, let us know what this game is ultimately priced at.
Yeah.
All right. Let us move on to Hike. And we have about four more games, and we may make it to the hour, maybe a little bit past it, but we'll see. So, right off the bat, thumbnail is clean, but also just very non-descriptive. Hike. And I can barely see what's going on in that background.
Yeah. And it's very blown out too.
Hmm. And also, people, you don't put white text on a white or a very light background. It's kind of hard to see.
Yep. That's the reason why they put that black outline, but it helps, but it doesn't do all the work.
Mm-hmm. Achievements are super easy. Wait,
Well, that sounds like a red flag right there.
I have another very. Oh wait, I see. So they're doing it by a European standard. So it's 8/1, meaning January 8th. I was about to say, if this game is releasing in August and you have it January, there's a bit of a problem.
Yeah. You said there's easy achievements in here, right?
Mm-hmm.
That makes me want to click on the developer and see what else they've made.
That is some very saturated graphics right there.
Apparently only one game before this, and it was sold for $1.99 and currently on sale for 49 cents. So I'm guessing this is going to be another $2
Mm-hmm.
game. That's what I'm guessing. And it looks like a bunch of assets too.
Mm. Like, why did he pick up a crowbar in one? Hmm. Well, on the positive side, the trailer is on the shorter side. It doesn't seem to have any fluff to it. But yeah, like again, this is one of those games that I'm not sure how you would show it off other than just non-descript footage.
I'm pretty sure this is just I think this is an asset flip.
If you
Asset,
go,
asset for the platforming parts of it, slash movement, and asset for all the environment. I think it's 100% assets. Just
if you, if you go to the 30-second mark of the trailer, it kind of looks like the footage is like clipping in, or it's like kind of like just outside of the viewpoint. Like it looks like very weird how like that mound just like appears in the frame.
yeah, that's normal asset flip kind of thing.
Yeah, and the font just really hurts my eyes.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So next,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Unfortunately, this is one of the things that we talk about with a lot of these shows is that even if this developer, there is a small chance it's a non-asset flip, but just how you present your game can just make it look like you you just cobble it together in a week or two.
I'd say there's a 99.9% chance that that's an asset flip.
Mm-hmm. Oh, good. It's just like Tank Mechanics Simulator. Thank you, Steam algorithm. You can take a hike in a tank, right?
Yeah.
All right. So this next one I chose, this is one of the demos we looked at during one of the festivals. I've lost track at this point. This is Critters for Sale Snake. And this is a game that I want to see what else this developer did. So it's their it's like this developer is only going for the weird style. It even says surreal as a tag. It has GIFs, and this I feel again is one of those problems. From an aesthetic standpoint, it certainly stands out.
Mm-hmm.
On the flip side, I'm imagining eye strain like nobody's business playing this game.
Oh, you'll be fine.
Like
Just
that post Void game.
just don't look at anything for the next 8 hours after you play it. Just
And play this in the darkest room possible, right?
yeah. Make sure you're going to sleep right after you play this, so you don't have to look at anything for the next 8 hours.
Mm-hmm. Don't stare directly into the screen, people. And again, like it's one. This could be a topic for our regular show about does like this kind of unique aesthetic really help this game, or is it going to put more people off than it pulls them in?
That's a good question. I do not know the answer to that. It might be
Because
a good
again,
topic, but it's not one that I'm educated on to talk
mm,
about.
from a positive standpoint, I haven't seen anything like this. I mean, this immediately sticks out to you in terms of visual style. Even the thumbnail, I think somebody will click on this thumbnail just on this image alone. Or what the hell this game is.
Mm-hmm.
So trailer. Oh boy. Again, it's one of those games that is just going to kill your eyes. And there are people who won't care about that, obviously. It has kind of like a Shimigami Tensei weirdness vibe to it, at least for me.
I'm pretty sure that guy at the beginning of the trailer is a developer.
Could be. Oof. So this is a minute 37. Which, I mean, for a game like this, if you're going to try and shock people with weird imagery, the more weird imagery you show is probably going to be a positive. But one thing that's really annoying me is that haze or that static over everything.
Mm-hmm.
Hmm.
Maybe if he did something like that, but it was way, way slower, it wouldn't have been bad.
Yeah. I mean, even when things are in motion, it doesn't really help us.
And my phone's ringing.
And I like the title art at the end that is also like seizure inducing. Hmm. So again, like it's not a bad trailer. It shows the weirdness. And a game like this, you gotta have to, show, you say it's weird, how weird can you get?
Mm-hmm.
But I feel the art is going to make this game succeed and it's going to make it fail at the same time. Is that safely extreme?
Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is safely extreme.
5 compilations, 1-bit pixel art nature. So I feel like this game has a strong chance of succeeding by weirdness alone. that a few YouTubers will pick it up, go, "Oh my god, I can't believe what I'm looking at," and it's going to get some sales because of it.
I don't know if I don't know. I have a feeling that maybe a couple will, but I don't think it'll catch on.
Mm. Now, here's a question: what do you think the price of this game is going to be?
Probably $15. Well, actually, let's look at their profile and look at what their last game did.
I think it was $5.
Yeah, so it'd probably be $6. So it'd probably be 6 to 10.
Now, it
5
says
to
it's
10.
going to be free to play.
It does.
If you go to the store, if you go when you search for the developer, it shows Critters for Sale Snake free to play. I don't know if that's 100% right. That could just be, Steam just putting something there in the meantime. Now, this is the first episode, so there is the possibility the developer may release the first episode free, kind of like Life is Strange.
Yeah, that would probably be what they're doing.
Yeah.
Probably the first hit's free, and then you have to pay for the next ones. Like
First eye strain is free, and you gotta pay for more.
yeah,
I
that's
could
that's
see
going to
it.
be appealing to the masochists.
Well, there you go. I see this as either being priced very cheaply or trying to go for the ultra high art price. Something like Gone Home or Dear Esther at like $15-$20.
Yeah, and this first one, episode one, is basically a prologue
Mm-hmm.
slash episode one, and then they're going to have episode two is going to cost money.
Mm-hmm. Kind of like that Bendy game as well.
Yeah,
So again, I think we do need to have a discussion. Maybe we can get somebody else on as well to talk about, does weird or striking art really help your game today? Because again, like in stills, it's very striking to look at. But the second you start trying to watch this trailer, it's just going to cause so much problem.
mm-hmm.
I mean, I would love like someone to actually make like a full on RPG. Like, again, like a Shimigami Tensei game using the style, less haze and static, but just like the visual appeal.
So do you want me to do the Chromasia remake in this kind of art style?
Yeah, and make sure I add extra seizure inducing things as well.
Yeah,
All right. Anything else that stands out to you?
not really.
All right. Let's move on to game number 7, Knock.
Our
This is
last game.
another one that we looked at as a demo that's finally coming out. So I do like the idea of it being a co-op first-person adventure game, kind of horror implied, because we don't really see too many good co-op horror games. Although I'm not sure why it's considered gothic. I don't see anything gothic about these screenshots.
Yeah, but the art looks good.
Yeah. Again, very striking aesthetic.
Yeah,
Like
they're going for a similar aesthetic to my current game. The blue, red, purple kind of thing.
I really like the second screenshot, like the moon, like kind of being all ominous in the background.
Mm-hmm.
Now the last two ones look a little too nondescript for me.
You mean the third and fourth, not the last two? It's
Oh
the
wait,
last one.
yeah, you're right. I'm confusing by the two videos. Yeah, so fourth and fifth, and the third one kind of falls in that range as well.
Well, I think the last one is pretty decent.
Well, it's got the neon. Let's see. Your adventure begins. We have a GIF. Deeply crafted world. The GIF is just you driving a car. That doesn't really tell us much. I like the second GIF that they had with the combat. When you just like smack the looks like evil cat and just like body ragdoll crazy to the right.
A
I mean,
little
look at
bit
that
too
thing.
much
Like,
stretch on that, but
yeah, you hit him so hard his neck stretches out.
and his torso, his stomach.
Third GIF isn't bad as well. I like again, it's showing the surrealness. Call a friend. It would have been nice if you could show like a two-player interaction.
Mm-hmm.
Strength is also the answer. My problem is with it kind of feels like the strength is also the answer. Should have been like where the cat is getting knocked out.
Yeah, and also that should have probably been worded differently, better.
Mm-hmm. So there's other projects. All right, let's see what these trailers look like. All right, we cut right into the surrealness. Oh, well, there's a second person.
Very stilted looking people.
Yeah. A little more like dolls or mannequins.
Yeah, they did. And not in a good way. They
Mm-hmm.
don't match the rest of the game.
The art of the trailer isn't that bad. Let's see. We have nominations for art. Let's see more of that. So it took about 48 seconds for they actually showed, like like the company logo. It looks very stilted when you're watching these characters move around.
Yeah, the characters are the worst part that I've seen so far.
It has that kind of very rough 3D look to it with the character animations.
Mm,
I think the thumbnail has a very striking look to it. The actual knock right there.
yeah, which is also at the end of the trailer.
Hmm. So the second trailer, I don't think it's as strong as the first one.
Yeah, the thing is that it doesn't need to be. That's the
Hmm.
point of having it second. You want the really strong trailer in the front, and
Hmm.
then you can give more information, less pop in the second.
Yeah.
That's the purpose of it because like you need all the pop in the first one. You need the first one to pop, 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 pop.
Hmm.
Second one, you can do whatever you want with it because like you can put a like an hour long video in there that explains all how to play and how to use all the systems and all this other stuff. Although I would probably discourage you from doing that as your second. Maybe if
Hmm.
you had like 8 trailers kind of thing and that was your last one, yeah, maybe. But, like your second one should probably be fairly short, like a minute or two, maybe 3. I would definitely not go longer than 3 or 4 minutes for your second one.
Yeah. So I think overall, this is a pretty decent store page. We have a
Mm-hmm.
story, we have gifts of various things. It describes what the game is. I don't know. I kind of think. Do you think the marketing points about call a friend, unique system, do you think those stuff should have been put up higher on the store page?
I'm not seeing it.
The fourth bullet point down, when you look at it from your adventure begins.
Oh, yeah. They kind of break in there with the gifs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I would not want to do that kind of thing.
Mm.
I would have moved that somewhere else so that the GIFs are more consistent. Like now, then if they had 2 bullet points for everything, that would have been, you know, it's the I guess symmetry of it kind of thing that really
Yeah.
throws it off. Because
Yeah,
like they
like
have one for the first one, two for the second one, three for the
three,
third one, one
one
for
for the
the
four.
yeah. I'd
Yeah.
rather see two for each one of them or something like that. Let's see here.
Mm.
Would that come out to be even? Let's see here.
Six. There's seven.
Yeah.
So maybe.
So you could have one for the first one and then two for all the others.
Mm-hmm.
So just take one from this 3 one and move it down to the 2 one, down to the bottom one,
Mm-hmm.
and then that would look a lot better.
Yeah.
Feel a lot better.
I think overall this is the best one we've seen for this week's episode.
Yeah.
So my gut is telling me price wise, this will be probably in the $15 to $20 range. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm with you on that one. 15, $20.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe even 25.
Possibly.
And I'm actually leaning away from 15 because 15 is going away in the indie space.
Yeah. I do think they could have used a few more tags. Like probably they could have done with co-op or multiplayer,
Yeah, they certainly could have.
action, puzzle.
I would say you need at least 2 lines in there because like
Mm.
you're probably
Oh, here it is down here. Action, adventure, indie. Massively multiplayer? I would argue no. Two players is not massively multiplayer.
well, it's massive, as in it's a massive increase from 1 player because that's 2 times as much. That's massive.
I think this one has a fairly good chance.
Yeah, I do too.
All
I've
right.
seen this one before.
Yeah, we
Gameplay
did.
looked, I think it was halfway decent.
Yeah, it wasn't the best, wasn't the worst.
You know, I think this could actually be potentially a commercial success right here.
Yeah. All right. And
Probably
let's
not
go
going
to
to
the
be.
final game for this week, and that's
Oh,
Wetware.
there's another game.
Yep.
I do not have it.
Uh-oh. Thought I sent over to you. Did not go through. Oh, here it is. There we go.
Okay,
All right. So this is the last one.
the
So it seems
last
like,
one.
yeah, it seems like eight may be like a good number for these shows. Would you say maybe seven?
Yeah, if we can get ones along the lines of these,
Yeah. So
probably 7 though.
I chose this one immediately because of the stop motion art. I really love this style, and like right off the bat, I think it stands out with
Mm-hmm.
it. Although I don't know if the thumbnail really matches the rest of the game. That's I'm gonna do. This sounds like a game that I've heard of before, but it's the first one from this developer. Engaging choices. I would like some more gifts in the description.
More. I don't think they have any,
Yeah, exactly.
but they did use colored text for their headers.
Hmm.
Which looks a lot more professional and good.
Yeah.
They
Not
just
sure why
needed
the
to
genre is
include
not
GIFs
adventure.
in there.
Hmm. It could have used adventure, puzzle, or some other genre tags.
Yeah.
Not sure why it's free to play.
Where are you getting that from?
If you look at the scroll near the bottom where it shows the genre title, wetware genre, casual, free to play, indie.
Hmm. Maybe it's a prologue kind of thing.
Hmm. Alright, so now this has two trailers in it, so I'm curious what the other one is. Yeah, so this is looking like it's in first person, which in and of itself is interesting. Usually, when we see like stop motion games like this, it is done, third person, point and click style. Hmm.
Because the second trailer looks vastly different.
Uh, I'm still watching the first one. I think this trailer's a little bit long. All right, so we have a UI. Looks like it's all going to be diegetic. Watch this. Could be basic puzzles. First trailer isn't too bad. I think it's a little too long.
Yeah, I went to the second trailer because you were like, oh, let's look at the second trailer.
All right, let's see what this one is. Oh, stop playing music. I don't know why this one just keeps playing music every time I click on it.
I have mine muted. Because I'm sure there will be copyright claims if you don't.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike. Happy New Year's.
Oh, hey, mate.
We have our first activity between both of our streams.
Just at the end, too, or almost.
Yep. And the last game.
These trailers, I feel, are way too long.
Yeah. The second one definitely seemed it.
Between the two, I think it's like 4 minutes worth of trailers. And the art, like the whole like hand drawn, really doesn't match, the stop motion of the game.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. It looked like it was almost out of a completely different game.
Mm-hmm. So the first one seems to be kind of like the sizzle reel. This seems like more the story trailer.
Yeah. Although I'm watching the first one now.
What do you make of like the time UI and like the dialogue boxes? It looks kind of cheap to me.
I just realized there was a game of Breakout in there. The time, I think the time is fine. Actually, that looks like a mini game too. Is this is this like a WarioWare? It might be since it's called Wetware.
Mm-hmm.
Is this like
Mm.
this might be like a WarioWare kind of thing?
Hmm. I don't know. I'm watching like the art or
Apparently, it
watching the
went to
motion.
DreamHack. Although I don't know why. Don't know why that's. Why is there rewards from DreamHack? From my understanding, DreamHack was just this thing where you go and you do the sleepover at an event kind of thing. Isn't that what it is? Because like Linus Tech Tips had DreamHack come to his convention kind of thing, and they just brought a ton of PCs and everything so that people could play games, and it was just a basically a gaming setup. So why are they giving out awards?
I don't know.
Best adventure of the games that were brought to DreamHack?
Best art house?
Yeah, none of this that doesn't make any sense at all. I may
Mm-hmm.
not know exactly what DreamHack is, but like everything I know about it, which is not very much, it's like the why are there even awards?
Yeah.
It's
And
like does the comic book shop that you go to play on their PCs, do they have awards too? I mean, because that it's a net cafe basically, from my understanding, a mobile net cafe that they set up wherever you pay them to set up at. That's my understanding about it.
yeah. One thing that sticks out to me in a bad way is at the minute 17 mark of the first trailer, when it's showing the end of day, this screen looks incredibly generic.
Oh yeah,
And those are like asset text, like or those asset boxes at the bottom.
at the bottom. The bottom of what?
Save, save, continue without saving. Like this screen doesn't match
Yeah,
anything else about the rest of the game.
yeah, that does look an asset button. And the other
Hmm.
thing is it's awarded the award of Epic Mega Grants. So does that mean they were an Epic exclusive? Is that the Epic exclusive until it comes out on Steam? So this may already be out on Epic and may have been there for the last year.
I don't think so. At least it's not showing up on. No, it's not on the Epic Store.
Hmm.
Let's see. Yeah, so I don't know. Like this one started off strong. I think in still shots, I think it looks better than when it's in motion.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, this one's showing some red flags though.
The style reminds me of something like Blendo Games or the one who did Quadrilateral Cowboy, Jazz Punk, that kind of thing.
I'm familiar with those.
Mm. Definitely some of the more weirder games. But my what I'm thinking about this one is that they're going to try and price it really high on the art style alone.
Probably like $40.
I was thinking like 25, 30, but yeah.
I was thinking Disco Elysium, $40.
And from a story perspective, I think the trailers work. From a gameplay perspective, it's leaving me some red flags.
Yeah, I mean the gameplay looks like just a bunch of mini games.
Mm-hmm. Gameplay's unstructured. Wait, characters in Object Mode are lovingly crafted and animated to resemble stop motion, so it's not stop motion animation then. It's meant to resemble it.
Hmm.
So then it's not the same as something like the Dream Machine.
Yeah, it's trickery, not the real thing.
Yeah, there's another game. Can I look up really fast? Yeah, here it is. Harold Halibut. This is the one I was thinking of. That this one I think is done entirely in stop motion.
Yeah,
And I know they were trying to do a Kickstarter for it. Don't know if it succeeded or not. But yeah, like that definitely looks like stop motion to me when you look at the Harold Halibut trailer.
yeah,
Maybe someday we'll look at that game on one of these shows.
maybe.
Yeah. So I think overall for this week, probably Knock would be the winner.
Yeah, don't knock it until you tried it.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know how much that gameplay loop is going to hold up either.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do we even have a winner?
The winner is the friends we meet along the way.
I thought it was the masochism that we experienced along the way, at least for you.
Mm-hmm. All right, but I think let us wrap things up for this week. Let us know in the comments what do you think about the structure and lengthwise of these shows. 'Cause maybe we should hold this down to 6 games or
Yeah,
6 or 7.
I think eight's too many. At least if we do it like we did today, which
Yeah.
we had more curated picks this time.
And the added effect of having the Steam store page actually watch more of these games.
Yeah, I think the Steam store page was definitely an improvement.
Yeah. Yeah. So let us know what you think in the comments below about what we were just saying. But for those of you new watching, if you want more discussions about game development and game design, tune in Sundays around 4:30 ET for our other show, the Safely Extreme Cast.
Which will be on both of our channels.
Hmm.
So make sure you subscribe to both of our channels. And if you want to actually catch that live and be able to ask us questions, ring the bell. Or just be
Hmm.
notified in general, because
Yeah.
YouTube isn't all good with that. And also join both of our Discords, because we each have one, and you can be notified there too. Probably a lot more dependably than ringing the bell on YouTube.
Yeah. You'll find links to everything in the description down below. And if you're a developer who would like us to, take a hard look at your store page, feel free to send either one of us a message.
Mm-hmm.
But with that, we're going to wrap things up for this week's Indie Inquiry. Again, have a happy new year. Ideally, we'll get some decent games for 2021 for our next week's show. And if you want to catch these shows live, they are held Thursdays around 3:30 ET.
Yep. And, tune into both of our YouTube channels for other content. Josh has nightly streams where he streams games. I have game streams on Tuesdays. I stream me working on my game, The Continuum, on Fridays. Um, and every the first Saturday of every month, we have a dev chat, which will be January 2nd, just around the corner. And where developers, us developers, usually just me, and get together with the community and show you all kinds of cool stuff coming to the game, and get feedback and whatnot, so that you guys can help shape the game.
Mm-hmm. All right. But that will do it for this week's episode. So, again, have a great new year. Come back for daily discussions on game design here and on game wisdom, where he's in the art and science of games. Until next time, see everybody in 2021.